We are cutting the 20-acre field, so we are working on getting that done. I am doing the first lap here, trying to get as close to the fence line as possible without running the risk of breaking our mower, our disc mower, because I'm worried that if I break something, it might be hard to get parts right now. My truck is still in the shop, still waiting on a valve body for the transmission. It was supposed to be in on the 17th. It didn't arrive. It's allegedly in Cleveland. It's supposed to be in the 27th. It didn't arrive, which is, I'm really bummed about that. But anyhow, I will say one thing I did do and make a great call on was this purchase I'm about to show you. So, alright, so I bought this, I call it a suicide knob. I think it's like a one-hand knob, I don't know what people call it. But it really helps out when you're having to kind of lean back and watch what you're doing, because trimming around the fence is, the first lap is one of the hardest laps. And I try to get as close as I can, but it requires me to turn around, and it's just not easy to do with two hands. It's best to be able to steer with one hand here. And even though the fence line's relatively straight, it is, you know, requires a little bit of judgment and some fast reactions, and that's really what it allows me to do. So I think it was like $8, maybe it's $15 a Tractor Supply, but we have it on our other tractor, and it's well worth putting it on this tractor. It just makes life way easier for me. Alright, so just finished tedding the hay, so I'm going to go hook up the rake and get somebody, hopefully Will, on the rake, or maybe Dad, and start baling the hay. I think it's really dry. It seems to be nice and fluffy, and it seems like when you throw it up, it kind of gets in that porcupine sort of spikes everywhere, and you can particularly tell this when you rake it, if it's kind of like a porcupine windrow. So it's plenty dry enough and should bale very easily. So that's what we want. Here we go. We got Will getting out there. We're gonna start raking some hay, and then we're gonna start putting up some bales. That's what we're gonna do. Put the valve on. What? The valve was off. The valve? Oh yeah. Well, you can always figure that out. Boom. Yeah, I probably should call Dad and tell him no more windrows, because, I mean, this will be 2 hours of going around.
Right. I can give you up a second.
Huh?
Or give you up a second.
Yeah, go ahead and pump it up, yeah. There's usually a little bit of wet hay in here, because it flows down.
Right.
But it actually seems pretty dry today.
Yeah.
I mean, this actually, I feel like we're this is the best hay season so far, like in just timing, dry hay, good grass. I'm hoping it.
Better than that field over there.
Yeah, well, we neglected that field. No love. We should have bush hogged it last year, and we didn't. And yeah, it just wasn't so good.
Good test field.
Yeah. Just jump up to where
That's what I'm doing.
Leaned. I can't remember. I screwed it up somehow.
I think you did some kind of turnaround.
I'd cut it hard here.
Right.
And the baler should pick up. I turned around here because yeah. Now just watch that rear wheel. You should be good. It'll suck it in on the side. But,
Yeah. There
you go. But
so
yeah.
You got it. This knob makes things a little bit easier.
But yeah, so it does gouge your hand, so I was gonna make that screw a little bit smaller.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a possibility it's supposed to be the other way, but that screw, like without gloves, it scrapes your hand. I cut my hand a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, don't want to get an infection.
Do you want me to stop so you can talk to him?
Yeah, go ahead and let me out. You think you got it down pat?
I think so.
Yeah, just take your time.
I have to pay attention.
Yeah, just take. Make us proud, Will. Make us proud. He's just angling in. Should be all right. You're good. So as a rite of passage, you always put one over the hill. So it was way up there, rolled down, broke one of the wires loose, probably came through here, went through 2 fences, and there it is. So when Will said non-recoverable bale, he was right. It is non-recoverable. In fact, I don't know if I can even walk down there on 2 feet. It is a jungle here. Ugh. But yeah. So that should be an easy fix, and then just tighten up some springs potentially. So not too bad. I don't think so. I think it's probably all right. I did the same thing last year, except in the other field. What?
Just need to tighten your.
Yeah. And so it's not a real big deal. Pretty much happens all the time, at least once a year. Once a cutting, once a baling. So Will, what happened?
Well, I noticed that the tire was a little flat whenever I was up there on the hill. I came down here, told Doug I need to get some air, so I started to put some air in it. And then the tube blew in.
Take a look. Yeah.
I might be able to get it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's way in there. So did the stem break off completely, or?
I don't think it broke off.
Huh.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah. So yeah, the bale was what? That we rolled over the hill?
Unavailable
Unavailable.
for service.
Yeah. No, when Will goes to scout camp, he'll just be teaching kids like, all right, this is how you restore a John Deere. And they're like, I thought I signed up for like the archery merit badge. He's like, shut up. Sit down.
There's green circles on the target.
I cannot shoot worth a crap with a
Bow?
bow.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't say the last time I've shot a bow.
Neither can I. Well, I did
All right.
actually at summer
Here you go.
camp last year.
Film.
What do you
But I
want me
did
to
this
film?
Whole, me breaking.
The
You
bull.
have to have action shots. Me probably putting my shoulder into the bucket again. Break my collarbone.
So,
Again.
so if like this socket explodes or anything, do I get workers' comp?
No.
Oh man.
Do we need to let the
I might need to get it
Let it
a little
down.
higher up. Because I'm going to hit the ground.
I can't.
I know, but
let the jack down?
Where's forward drive?
that's a good question.
If you disengage forward
Is it-
drive, it might work.
Four-wheel drive is forward on that lever that is the furthest one up on the left-hand side at your foot where the clutch is.
So pull back, it disengages it.
Yeah.
Here, let me
Try
just...
that. There we go.
Alright, there we go.
Now let me re-engage. Now try.
There she went.
Okay.
So I didn't put my head against the bucket.
Okay.
Totally awesome.
Raven is Ross's brother.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, can't get the bead off, so time to go see if we can have someone else fix this thing. At least we got the tire off.
The tire's off.
Tire is off. I may have a broken collarbone, but that's okay.
Nah, it'll buff.
Yeah, this is true. I broke my collarbone when I was a kid and didn't tell anyone. And it healed up incorrectly, apparently, so.
Well, I've been lucky enough that I haven't broken a bone yet.
I fell out of a tree.
But I have gotten 5 stitches.
Well, I have broken multiple bones and tore multiple things, So we were able to get the tire. There was a steeple put through the tube and tire, and then the valve stem was leaking too. So we got all those things fixed up here on the ridge. What do we think? What did we learn from this, Will?
I told you to use the tractor. You wouldn't listen to me. We need to buy some-
Okay,
need
number
license
one, Will, how would we have gotten the tractor to where we could access? Well, actually, I guess we got the tire off, so we could have, but we don't have those big,
spins.
yeah, whatever they call them.
Yeah, I think they're called spins.
I think we need to buy some. I always called them bike, like tire levers myself, but anyhow.
I don't know.
Now we can get back to work.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, Dad. Did you want to finish raking and let Will?
Yeah.
Will cranked the RPMs up on the baler. Says it's doing better.
Yeah, a little bit faster speed.
We had it set at 500, but actually, it calls for 540 or 550, doesn't it, Will?
Yeah, and I was running at 550.
So.
What did you do to crank it up? Did you
So-
just give it more acceleration?
No, the button where you can automatically set the RPM. There's a button right next
Yeah.
to it, and you have to push up on it for like 3 seconds, and it'll raise it up to 550.
Yeah.
So that's what it did.
Yeah,
And
I think
then I figured out so you can use the foot throttle with it still set and it won't reset.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good to know.
I was kind of preset. I did the 500 preset, and there's a button next to it to go up or down. And I just pressed up on it for like 3 seconds or something like that, and then it went out to 550.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I was curious.
Good
so
to know.
I was playing with somebody else's equipment. That way, if it broke, I could say it wasn't my fault, and that's a new piece of machinery.
You know.
Shit needs to fix it.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you don't work yourself out of a job.
Exactly.
I always forget, like from year to year, how to actually operate everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do I do again?
Oh, you should see. It gets pretty rough whenever I'm wrapping bales because Ross is sitting right there, right next to me, and
Does he make you nervous, Will?
a little bit because I'm trying not to mess up, but I'm messing up, trying to remember what I did last year and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
My mouth, and you guys back this out after you get it on, and I'll start raking.
All right.
All right.
I'll take
So,
this
Will,
thing.
how tight are we gonna put these?
So even though it's an Italian tractor, we're going to use a
German.
German measurement.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to tighten them up to good and tight.
Guten tight.
Guten tight.
That's right. Guten tight. Not to be confused with Guten Tag.
Correct.
See, you're the engineer I want because you actually know how to be a mechanic, and you would make things simple. You'd make it. I feel like you would make it so all the grease zerks were accessible, all the oil filters would be accessible, fuel filter, air filter.
I wouldn't be like a case designer to where you have to take the fuel filters off to get to the.
Yeah, hopefully you wouldn't be like the John Deere people too that
Yeah.
have the right to repair and all that crappy software. Will, you would win the hearts and minds of every farmer, mechanic in the country. But they'll talk about you like the man who made it so the common layman could work on his vehicle again in 2034.
30. That's a long way away.
Well, okay, maybe just 2025. They're like, well, I guess we need a little more time for you to get through school and everything. 2027, young John Deere enthusiast comes up with newly designed tractors that anybody can work on. Even his sister, Sarah.
It's good and tight.
All right, guten Tag.
All
All right, so we've got both pieces of equipment up and running. Dad's raking. We've got Will baling hay. So, hopefully we can finish up this field today, then start picking up these bales and get them all under roof before tomorrow when it is supposed to rain. So Will's gonna try to back the baler in, and unfortunately, one of the problems with farm equipment as it has modernized is even this very relatively small baler can barely fit into this stall. And it is just hard. Like, farm equipment has evolved to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And this barn, which is like 100 years old, was not designed for 100 horsepower tractors or even round balers because they didn't exist. So we'll see how Will does. So we were able to finish up baling the 20 acres. So we've only got the 10 acre meadow left to do. And we got all the hay in the barn. So just in time, it's supposed to rain today for the next couple days. So none of the hay this year has gotten rained on, which is awesome. And it should be nice and dry and easy to unroll and feed out in the winter. So makes me happy. And we luckily got most of the hay up right before Will, our manic mechanic farmhand, has to go to scout camp. So he's going away. He's a counselor. He's going to be gone for 5 weeks. So I told him I was going to frame him for something and get him in trouble so he'd have to come back and work for us. But I don't think I'll do that. I'll be nice. But anyhow, he's going to work one more day this week for us, and then he's off to scout camp.